Greetings. My name is Munawar Qasim, and this is my second conversation in a part of mini talks on how to create employment and how to win elections. Uh, the topic that I'm going to discuss today is on quantitative easing. I'm told that quantitative easing is two-sided edge kind of a thing. It has got pros and cons on it, as has been practiced in quantitative easing thus far. True, partially not true, but let's say true. However, what I think is what we are suggesting is totally the opposite. We are talking of brick and mortar. We are not talking of funding primarily just the top 30-40%. We're talking of funding the bottom 40% in terms of creating instantaneously a big push in employment, all sections, all varieties of jobs, from the very basic unskilled to skilled, and talking about brick and mortar, i.e., as human beings in the year 2020, looking at what is happening around us with COVID-19 and the disastrous results in terms of impact on employment, especially in the bottom 40% in terms of unemployment, I think what we need to do is build a house as a government and gift it for free to each family. Utopian? No. Why? If you look at the senior citizens in every nation in the bottom 40% segment, they are living in abject poverty, in really extreme conditions of survival, totally, entirely unacceptable in this day and age. If you look at children of the unemployed, quite often they're going to bed hungry. Quite often they have a part of a meal once in 3 days. Quite often their health is impacted. There is no civilized hygiene condition around them. Abject poverty breeds illness. They have no access to education in any shape, manner, or form that could be defined as education. So what should we do as governments? One of the best and most noblest of ways to win an election is to actually do something for the poorest of the poor. And we should now do it in a grand style. In the year 2020, we've talked a lot. We've come up with excellent plans. We have implemented a lot. But I think what we now need to focus is on housing. So imagine if you gift a house to a couple with enough accommodation available for the husband's parents, the wife's parents to stay in that same house. So you are solving 4 individual senior citizens' problems right away. You are providing a home environment for the grandchildren where they will be in a perpetual state of love from the grandparents, great happiness to the grandparents. And the parents can then focus on their day-to-day struggle for survival. So if we were to do this, how can we create a massive number of jobs, immediate impact right away, instantaneously? And that is, if you are to do this on a massive scale for the 40% of the population, you will be able to create literally millions of jobs in every country for bricklayers, for plumbers, for electricians, for architects, for tile layers, for carpenters, for the cement industry, for the stone industry, for the transportation industry, lorries, trucks, for other basic essentials that are required in a house, such as fans, electricity, furniture, fabric. It would create a massive number of jobs, and this should be done with proper infrastructure development so that you are providing schools and hospitals totally of the top tier standard. There's no point doing something, lopsided. Might as well do it something that you are going to create and benefit each nation 20 years hence, having a totally educated, independent middle class, new middle class that will be the size of what your present middle class is, or even more than that. And these children, when they grow up, will be inventors, discoverers, scientists, philosophers, doctors, who will excel the growth trajectory of your nation in multiple times over. This needs to be supported with infrastructure development also of roads, railways, airports, so that every segment of the market is modernized and not left behind. But for the mercy of the Creator, we are not in a position today, individually speaking, of those who are educated, that they're suffering from dysentery and they have no toilet to go. There's one toilet in a slum area servicing 100 people, and you're going to stand in a queue for half an hour. Imagine that when you're going to bed at night with no food in the stomach. Your children are hungry and they're asking for food, and you have no jobs. You have no jobs. You have no way of earning an income. We need to change this template in this day and age and totally move them out of abject poverty. And COVID-19 is a great opportunity, a great chance that we have got to do something bold, something dramatic, something that is very, very robust in terms of economic activity within the country, creation of employment, and not only giving hope, but actually delivering on that hope to the poor. Imagine the politicians who would be involved in doing this. Imagine the governments who would be involved in doing this. Every single beneficiary will vote for you perpetually, generation after generation after generation, for having gifted them a house. It's far better that we walk on the high road of nobility and do this. It will be creating also very high-paying jobs, like for architects, for draftsmen, for engineers, for planners, for municipal corporations, for bankers, in terms of they being the conduit in terms of actually funding their communities where they are, and they can open more branches close by to the communities. We should have a multicultural approach in community building, so that we as individual human beings will be living in homes with our neighbors belonging to different religions, different cultures, so that we can learn from each other, so that we can compete with each other in acts of piety and righteousness, so that we come to know each other. We are the children of the same Creator. We are His artwork. We are all perfect. God is perfect. His creations are perfect. Let us do something to please the Creator, simply for the love of Him. Thank you very much. Take care. Cheers. Bye.